Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM.
And we're at the Practical Classics Car and Restoration Show at the NEC.
Now there are plenty of videos out there already as we're recording this of a complete walk around of the show. So what we're going to do is show you our top 10 vehicles here.
Yes, that's 5 each. Let's go.
And we really were spoilt for choice because this is an amazing show. If you like cars, no matter whether new, old, classic or regular, you'll find something here that you love.
This is called a Vortex GTR. I've picked this as one of my cars for the show because I've never seen one before, ever. This is only one of about 15 on the road and one of 20 to 25 that have actually ever been sold. So this is a Vortex steel construction chassis with a Vortex fiberglass moulding on top of it. But the engine is from a Rover 827, so it's actually a Honda power unit. It's a 2.7 litre V6 with about 170 horsepower, but because the car weighs nothing, that's more than enough to get you up to speed in what the owner describes as too quickly. This one is painted Rover Trophy Blue, so I think it really suits this car. It looks fantastic. I like the wheels, I like the shape of the thing. It's got a really quirky interior, cool custom-made dashboard. It's a really cool car. It's a shame more people didn't buy them because I'd like to see more of these.
I'll accept this may be a left field choice, but for me, this is a hugely important car. When I was growing up, we had a Ford Sierra Estate in a very similar colour. I think mine was a darker grey. But this is my first experience with cars. It's the first car I ever drove. It's the first thing I used to sit in the steering wheel and develop that love of driving. I know it's not that exciting to most of you, but this is the very genesis of my love of cars and all things automotive. And I really regret the day that it went off to a new home. In fact, it was so rotten the engine went off to be, I think, used in a boat. I would love to have one of these. I know they're not particularly good. I know they're not particularly exciting. But for me, this is my childhood car, and I would love to get behind the wheel of one again and take it out. Now, the one we had as a family was not the deluxe model. Mine had workout windows, didn't have anything extra. And I'm pretty sure it didn't have power assisted steering. It was a basic, but a diesel chugging boat. So I love that. That's fantastic. I think they're great looking machines. So I really want one. At some point, I'm going to have one of these.
I really like these. There's something about the shape of old Audis, just the boxiness that is really cool. Proper retro looking thing. This obviously is an Audi Quattro. It was designed to be part of the whole homologation stuff for when Audi wanted to go rallying, and obviously the Audi Quattro was a huge success within the rally scene. Now these have a 2.2 litre 5-cylinder engine. Again, 5-cylinder, quirky, don't see it in many vehicles, but they do sound really cool. And there's something about just seeing one out in the wild or at a show that is really quite special. You don't see them about. The most you might see nowadays is the old Audi 80 or something, but seeing a proper Quattro, it is a really cool piece of kit. And also having a boost gauge on the dashboard to see how much spoolie you're doing, that is really cool.
Another slightly different choice for me is this, the Ford Probe. And I love this car for a variety of reasons. Firstly, I like the styling. Secondly, it has pop-ups. And thirdly, it's called the Probe. And that is a terrible name for a car, which I love. I want a Probe just to be able to say, I own a Probe. Would you like to have a ride in the Probe? Also, I think it's actually a practical classic. There's plenty of space in there, the boot's big, And I really like the dash. I love the colour of it, and it's one of the cars that I keep looking for online. I repeatedly on Facebook Marketplace looking for one of these. I want a bit of probe in my life.
The Datsun 240 really is probably one of the prettiest cars ever made. Something about having a massive great bonnet, your cabin which is sort of halfway if not further back down the rest of the car, but still a reasonable and practical sized boot to put your luggage. It really is one of the perfect grand touring cars. Go away somewhere for a weekend, all the luggage in the boot, get to where you're going, fun car to drive around. These are really starting to go up in value now, being one of those sort of iconic JDM Japanese cars. They've got a proper following behind them. But this one is in really, really nice condition. I like the way the wheels match the bodywork with a bit of chrome. The straight six in these sounds really nice as well. We actually have a friend of ours who has one of these, and every time me and Lawrie go to their place, we just stand there going, oh, I want it. Very, very cool.
Most of you will know Reliant made the three-wheeler, the Robin and the Rialto, which are iconic, and of course, the Trotter Supervan. What a lot of you don't know is they also made this absolute work of art. This is the Scimitar, and it's got to be one of the best looking cars of all time. It's still a fiberglass construction, but in there is the Essex V6. It is super cool. It's a wonderful grand tourer. One day I'm going to get my hands on one of these things. It's a beautiful classic, the kind of thing we just don't see anymore. And every time I see one of these, I'll just go, oh, that's such a good looking car. And this one and the one that's actually parked next door to it are both beautiful examples of the breed. I love the blue. It wears it so amazingly well. It's a shockingly stunning, wonderfully practical car, and I wish there were more of these kicking around, and I wish more people associated Reliant with this and not the three-wheeler.
So another one of my cars for this show is going to be this. This is a Mitsubishi GTO. Now these were sort of from around the same time as the RX-7 and the Supra, only those have obviously skyrocketed in value and everybody wants them. These have sort of been left behind, but for people that know what they are, yeah, they're a bit heavy, but they have got plenty of power and they're quite modern inside. They've got lots of really cool bits on them. Some of them have a drop-down aero kit at the front to aid in, well, aero, and they also have a tilt-in spoiler at the back. Now these can either come as a twin turbo or naturally aspirated. The twin turbos are somewhere around 280 horsepower, but they can be mapped up a fair bit. I just think they're such a cool looking bit of kit. There's not many things now with an outline like this, with pop-up headlights. They just look like a supercar. Proper cool bit of kit. I'm quite tempted by one.
It's no surprise that one of my top cars is the MG ZS 180. Now, I have one of these which I prefer in the British Racing Green, but this baby blue is absolutely stunning. The best thing about this is these guys have been doing the cam belt, and that's a job that me and Tom need to do on my own. So to be able to come throughout the weekend and keep looking at this one and being like, how are you doing this, guys, has been really good, because I've always been led to believe that it's a massive, great job to do this. And the guys are like, yeah, it's about 8 hours work, but it's not too bad. It's just the fact you've got to pull a load of stuff off it, and once you've got everything off it, it's fairly easy. There's a lot of space. You do have to take an engine mount out. But it's been lovely to come over here, see this example, which has been hidden away and will be coming back onto the road soon. Their hope is after the show, it's going to go for an MOT and will go back onto the road. So it's great to see a quite late example of this heading out and returning to the road. Love the colour, love the shape of it. The best thing about this one is the owner first saw it in 2022, but only managed to convince the previous owner to sell it in 2025. This one, the hatchback, the shorter version, is the rarer version of the breed, so cool to see another one. I love this.
So I've always loved the F-Type. Ever since they came out, I've always lusted after one. A friend of mine's dad had one, the V6 one, and whilst it's nice, I think the V8 is the one to have. This is probably my attainable dream car, and if I can make something work over the next few years, I might just end up with one of these. Really cool, really fast, stupid noise. Great car.
One of my all-time top cars, not just at this show, but of all time, is the Lotus Elite. And many long-time viewers will know that I've got one of these in bits inside the shed. This is how it should look. It is an absolutely outstanding work of art. It is beautiful in every way. I love the wedge. I love the way the rear glass comes down to the back. It's an absolute icon of British motoring, which didn't sell at all. In fact, this was a bit of a disaster for Lotus, and it was quickly rehashed to be the Eclat, which is just over there. It's a car that I have always wanted, since before I even knew what it was, since before I even knew what a Lotus was. I saw one and it just captivated me. The interior is incredible, and as a Lotus, it drives amazingly. Now, the Elite was plagued with many problems, which got improved upon with the subsequent designs. Particularly was the engine was basically too powerful for the gearbox, so if you drove it really hard, you had a good chance of actually completely knackering it. But excluding that, a wonderful, beautiful looking car. It's great to drive, and I cannot wait to eventually finish putting my one back together to take something like this out, because it's that beautiful future that we never got, that amazing, super streamlined future that never happened. It's still contemporary and cool today, and I think it's more popular today than it was when it was new. It's fantastic. Absolutely top class condition, and just one of my favourite cars of all time. And so that brings us to the end of the day here at the NEC for the Practical Classics Restoration Show.
It's died.
That's it.
It's died.
What a way to end the show here at the NEC with that. So if you have enjoyed this, how about clicking somewhere over there for another show video, or somewhere over there for another show video? And that, well, we're going to fire this thing up and go home. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Let us know which cars you think were the best, and if you agree with our choices for the top 10. You know that? Well, let's get it home.